We're going to be talking about reflections for this lesson. A reflection is like a mirror image. We're going to be talking about reflections over horizontal and vertical lines, and then we're going to talk about diagonal lines. So we're going to start with horizontal and vertical lines. So horizontal and vertical lines, the prime point or the new point should be the same distance from the line as the original, but on the opposite side. So looking at this one, it says that we want to reflect the triangle RST over the line y equals -1. Okay, so if we are looking at this, I'm going to start with, let's start with T. All right, so T is 1 unit from that line. So we're going to do 1 unit on the other side, and we're going to go 1 unit and put the new T or T prime. All right, so that's going to be T prime. All right, so now we're going to go to our next point. I'm going to do S here. So S is 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to, from the line, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So there's going to be S prime. And now we're going to do R. Okay. So R is 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 units for R prime. All right, and if we look at this, we should now have our triangle reflection over that particular line. All right, so same thing here, but this time instead of reflecting over a vertical line, we're going to reflect over the line y equals -1, which is horizontal. So we're going to do the exact same thing. So we're going to start with T. All right, so T, this time we're going to look at our distance here. This time it's 2 units from the line. So we're going to go 2 units on the other side. And we're going to plot T prime. All right, so then we're going to do S. S is 2 units from that line. So we're going to go 2 units on the other side. So this is going to be S prime. And then finally we have R. And R was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're actually need one more point. Let me count that again just to be sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we need one more at the bottom. So right here, we're going to put R prime. And then we have our reflection over that line of y equals -1. So whenever it's horizontal and vertical, it's very easy. You just count the units on each side and reflect that over the same distance on the other side. Now, over a diagonal line. Diagonal lines can be very specific as far as what diagonal line they want you to use, and there's some rules that can go with that, or it can be any diagonal line, and then we kind of have to use a different mindset for that. So you're going to find that there are reflection rules for any or the 4 specific lines. So these right here, obviously, these are horizontal lines, okay? So horizontal lines because I have the x-axis and the y-axis. So if I'm reflecting over the x-axis, all I do is take my original point and then I inverse or change the sign of the y value. If I'm reflecting over the y-axis, I take my original point and I do the inverse of the x or change the sign. So if it's positive, it goes negative. If it's negative, it goes positive. Now we do have very specific diagonal lines that we can also do, or you can use the rule I'm getting ready to show you in a second. So if I have y equals x or y equals -x, there is a rule for that one. So y and x, I take my original and all I do is flip the value for x and y. So the y now becomes the x now becomes the y of the new point. And then if it's y equals -x, you take your original, you still flip the x and the y, but this time you inverse it and you change the sign. So those are some rules that we can go by, and we'll show that in a second. Or if I have a diagonal line, I can always find what we call the perpendicular distance, I guess you could say. So we find the horizontal distance from the line, or technically you could find the vertical distance as long as you do the opposite the next time. And then do the same distance vertically for the new point. So what does that mean? So I'm going to look at y equals x for this one. So we have the same triangle here. And I have RST. Now I have the diagonal line y equals x. Okay. So what I would do is I can use the rule. I'll show you the rule in just a second. Or I can think about the horizontal and vertical distance on the opposite side. So up here it says you have to start with horizontal. You really can do horizontal or vertical as long as you do the opposite on the other side. So I'm going to start with T. All right. And with T, if I go horizontally, that means that I'm going to go 3 units to that line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the opposite of that, and I'm going to go 3 units vertically from that. So now that's going to be my T prime. Okay. So then I'm going to do my S. And again, you don't have to do horizontally both times. You could do it vertically and then horizontally as long as you do the opposite. So for this one, I'm going to go from the S to the line. And that one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. So this time I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's going to be my S prime. Okay, so let me rewrite this so that we can still see the T prime. Or actually, let me move it over a little bit. All right, so I'm going to just put T prime right there. All right, so for the next one, we're going to do R. And for R, we're going to go horizontally to the line. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units. So now I'm going to go vertically 10 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's going to be R prime. So if I connect these now, I have my reflection over that line. Now, another way that I can do it, so obviously I've shown you the lines. I'm going to kind of delete these right here so you can kind of really see it and see that reflection. Now, if we actually use the y equals x, so that means that if we have x and y, we're going to do y and then x as my rule. So if I have T is currently the point -2, 1. So that means T prime is going to be 1 and -2. So that's exactly what we found here. We found 1, -2 for T prime. All right, so then we have S. S, the point was -5 and 1. So S prime was going to be 1 and -5. You just switch your x and y. And again, I can go to 1, -5, and there's my S prime. And then finally, I have my R. And my original R was 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my original R was at -5 and 5. And then my R prime, we would just flip that x and y to make it 5 and -5. So if I look at R over here, I should be able to see that I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, -5. Okay, so you can technically use the rules. You can do it graphically. I will post some graph paper if you feel like you need that. If you can print, but either way it works out. All right, so this one, we have a completely different line here. It's a reflection. It is a new line, so there's not a set rule for this per se, but we can do our reflection again. So we're going to start with T. Okay, so T to that line. I'm going to do it vertically this time so you can see that it still works. So I'm going to go vertically. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I go vertical, then I go horizontal. So we kind of make that perpendicular line between the two, or perpendicular set of lines between the two. All right, so that's going to be T prime. All right, so then we have S. Again, I'm going to just show you that the vertical still works. So I'm going to go vertically this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's going to be S prime. And then our last one is R. All right, so for R, if I do this again and I go vertically, okay, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're going to do the exact same thing horizontally now. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then there's going to be R prime. All right, so then there's my reflection over that line. And again, I'm going to erase these lines so that you can see those a little bit better and see that reflection. Okay? And you can also think about it. I know you may not have the piece of paper in front of you, but if you were to actually take this and pretend it's a piece of paper and fold that piece of paper, that would reflect. So this, if that paper, that would reflect over here. If we fold that paper, that would reflect over to the S, and that would reflect over here if we were to fold it. Okay? So just to kind of think back on the rules. So if I have the 0.73, okay, so that's my original. So it says, what is the image? So the image is the new point. So this is the pre-image right here, or this is the pre-point that we have after it has a reflection over the line y equals x. So remember, the rule for y equals x is we just flip the x and the y. So that new point would be 3 and 7. So this one we have the same pre-image, but this time they want us to reflect over y equals negative x. So the rule for that one is you still flip your x and y, but this time you inverse it and do different signs. So that's going to become 3 and 7, but I'm going to make them both negative. Okay. Now, one thing I will say, like let's say I give you the point negative 3, 7. If I do that same reflection, it's going to become negative 7 and positive 3. So if it is negative, it becomes positive. If it's positive, it becomes negative. So just keep that in mind, that it's not just that it becomes negative, it's a inverse. So positive to negative, negative to positive. All right, so we're going to do a few of them across diagonal lines, and then we're going to do a few of them just across the axis. And I will do a few of them with the rules so you can see it, or we can just talk about it graphically. All right, so this one says a reflection across y equals x. So the line y equals x is right here. I'm going to try to make it as close as I can, which it's not doing very well. So the line y equals x. Let's see if it'll. All right, I'm going to get my ruler so that I can get a good line here for you guys. So the line y equals x is obviously a slope of 1. So it's going to go up 1 unit, over 1 unit, up 1 unit, over 1 unit. All right, so it's about as good as it's going to get. So let me hide that ruler again. All right, so if we were doing this, we want to find a reflection. So if we do the graphing rule, and we could go vertical or horizontal. So this is 2 units to the line. We're going to go 2 units down. So that's going to give me L prime. All right, so then the next one, horizontal, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units horizontally, and then 5 units vertically. So that's going to give me H prime. All right, so then we're going to do Q. We're going to go to the line of y equals x, so that's 3, and then 3. So that's going to be Q prime. And then finally, we have P. So P is going to go to the line 1 unit, and we're going to go down 1 unit. So this is P prime. So if we connected all of these, now you got to remember, kind of think about your order here. So P goes to Q, and then let's see if I can actually make it. Then Q, whoops. P goes to Q, which then goes, well, all right, P goes to Q, then H, Q goes to H, all right, and then H goes to L, and then L goes back to P. Okay, so you can kind of see that reflection for those. And again, if I erase those horizontal and vertical lines, it is a little bit easier to see in this situation. Wow, it doesn't like these want to erase for me. Oh, Lord. Okay, I think it's connecting to the image, so I'll have to figure out how to change that, but you can see that reflection there. Now, if you were to do the rules, so remember the rule here is we would flip our X and our Y. So if you were to do the rule there, I would do L is located at 0, 2. So L prime would be at 2, 0, which it is. So then we have H is located at -2, 3. So H prime would be located at 3, -2, because all we're doing is switching that X and Y value. And we can see that H is located at 3, -2. So I could keep doing that same rule. Just like the rule for Y equals -X is you flip the X and the Y and then you change the sign. However, that isn't always going to happen, because those are very specific lines, Y equals X and Y equals -X. There's a rule for it, but if it's not those, then you would have to do the horizontal and vertical distance there. So Y equals -X, that's going to go through those points. Okay, so that's -X. So I could easily do my points here where I could say, okay, A is located at 3, -1. So A prime is going to be +1 and -3. We flip them and change the sign. So A prime would be +1 and -3 right here. Okay, and I could keep doing that as far as my value. So, or I could do my horizontal and my vertical distance. So horizontally, it's going to go 2 units and then 2 units down. Okay, so either way will work. I'm fine with whatever way works best for you. So if we do J, J is located at +4, -3. So J prime is going to be located at +3, -4. So if I go to +3 and -4, there's going to be J prime. And again, 1 unit to the line horizontally, and then 1 line to J prime. All right, so I'm going to just keep doing the rules so you can see that completely. So then we have T. T is located at 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, -2. So T prime is going to be located at 2, -5. All right, so we're going to go to +2 and -5. So that's T prime. And then finally we have S. S is located at 5, positive 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, or excuse me, 4, positive 2. So S prime is going to be located at negative 2, negative 4. All right, so negative 2 and negative 4. So that's going to be S prime. And then we can just connect them all together. So again, just make sure you remember what lines went together. So S went to A. S also went to T. And then T went to J. And then J went to A. So you should be able to see that reflection over that line. All right. So then we have a reflection over the y-axis. So if it's a reflection over the y-axis, that's going to be a vertical line. We can very easily do that distance that we did before. So S is 2 units from the line, so this is going to be S prime. T is also 2 units, so that's going to be T prime. Q is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going to be Q prime. And then R is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the other side. All right, and then you could connect those. And then there's your reflection. Or the x-axis rule is that if you are reflecting over the x-axis, you make your x the opposite value. So if I have S is located at 2, 3. S prime is going to be located at negative 2, 3, which it is in fact. Then we had R. R was located at 5 and 2. So R prime would be located at negative 5 and 2. Same thing with Q. Q is located at 5, negative 2. So Q prime would be located at negative 5 and negative 2. So you're just changing the sign of the x's for those. And then finally we have T. T was located at 2, 0. So T prime would be located at negative 2, 0. So again, both ways work with the rules, or you can do the distance. All right, so this one says do a reflection over the x-axis. All right, so if we do that reflection, we're just going to be looking at how far. So J is 3. So we're going to go and we're going to plot J prime, 3 units on the other side. All right, so then this one is below the line this time, and that's okay. So we're going to do 2 units, and then we're going to go on the other side and do 2 units. So this is going to be I prime. All right, K is 3 units, so we're going to go on the other side of the x-axis and do 3 units. And then L was on it, so that's still going to stay on. So this is also L prime. So if I connect these, I should see my reflection. Now, it does get a little bit jumbled just because of the fact that they wind up kind of overlapping each other. However, you should see that there is a true reflection image there. And again, the rule for the x-axis is you make the opposite sign for the y. So I'm only going to do a couple of these. So if I have J, J was negative 2, 3. So J prime now becomes negative 2, negative 3, which you can in fact see that this is at negative 2, negative 3. All right, then we have I. I was at 0, negative 2. So I prime is going to be at 0 and positive 2, which it is in fact. So you can do those rules or you can do it graphically. So let's just do a few more. So this says a reflection over the line y equals 4. So y equals 4 is a horizontal line. So we should be able to easily graph this. So I have 1 unit here, I have 3 units here, and 3 here. So we're just going to do the opposite distance on those. So I have 1, so this one was 3, so we're going to go 3 here. This one was 3 and 3 here. And there's my reflection over the line y equals negative 4. All right, So for this one, I have the line y equals 3. I have, for this point, I have 2 units to the line. This one I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this one I have 4. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to do that same point, and then I'm going to go opposite 2 units on the other side. So this point right here, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go opposite of that, 6 units on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. And then I have this point right here. And then we're going to go 4 units. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And then if I connect that, I should see that I have my reflection over that line y equals 3. Now, this is what we were talking about earlier, where I may have a diagonal line that's not y equals x or y equals negative x. So we're going to have to do that horizontal and vertical distance here. So we're going to do, take each point, and we're either going to start vertical or horizontal and do the opposite on the other side of the line. So for this one, I'm going to go vertical, and I went vertical 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units. So now I'm going to go horizontal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units. So there's my first point. All right, so for this one, I'm going to go vertical, and that was 4, and so 8 units. So now I'm going to go 8 units on the other side. And then finally for the last one, if I go vertical, for that one, that's 6 and 7. So that's going to be 13 units. So I'm going to go 13 units. Whoops. That went too, I went too far. So I'm going to go 13 units horizontally. Okay. And then, of course, I can connect. And you should see that's a reflection over that line. All right. And, of course, we have another line. Same thing. We're going to do that horizontal and vertical with that diagonal. All right. And, again, when I have a line like up here that's y equals x, I can do the same vertical lines like I showed you. You can use this horizontal and vertical perpendicular rule for any diagonal line. All right, so for this one, I'm going to do horizontal this time. So I went 6 units, so I'm going to go 6 units, whoops, vertically. Okay, and then for the next one, I'm going to go horizontally 3 units, and then I'm going to go horizontal 3 or vertical 3 units. And then for this one, if I go horizontal this time, let's see how many units is that. So that's 9 plus 3, so that's going to be 12 units. So we're going to go 12 units down. And there's my point. And then if I connect, and there's my reflection over that line. So again, just to make sure that we've got it, so reflection over the line y equals x, that's going to flip the y and the x. So if I have -8 and -5, that's going to become -5, -8. We don't change the sign on those. But if I have y equals -x, I flip them and change the sign. So remember, the negative doesn't mean it just becomes a negative number. It means you flip the sign of what you have originally. So I originally had -5, so now that's going to become +5. I originally had -8, so that's now going to become +8. All right, let me know if you have any questions about this.